Hello everyone. Today we are going to study chapter number 4 from the book A Pact with the Sun. This chapter is from grade 6th. So let's start the chapter. Christmas Eve had arrived. Christmas Eve means the day or the evening before Christmas Day, that is 24th December. At last minutes, shoppers were going home. Here a word comes shoppers. Shoppers means customers. So at last minutes, all customers were going to their home. A thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA. So where the scene takes place? USA. So there is a lot of snow. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop, but in the old clock shop the light was still burning. As Ray, who is Ray here? Our first character. Its old deaf owner worked on a clock he had sold that day. So he worked on a clock that he sold that day. So here you can see the two characteristics of Mr. Ray. He was an old man and deaf. Deaf so means he cannot hear. He had hearing impaired. So let's move further. Having finished his work, Ray stood up. After finishing his work, he stood up and was on his way to the back room. He wanted to go to the back room when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck, and then suddenly he felt a cold air. He turned to meet a last minute shopper. So he turned and looked the last minute customers. But his old wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper, as he was very experienced. So he can feel that they were not shoppers, they were not customers. He saw two men, one in 20s and other closer to 50. One's age is 20s and other one closer to 50. The younger man remained at the door. He was not coming inside. The older man approached the counter with no signs of friendliness in his eyes. Means there is no signs of friendliness in his eyes. Ray was able to hide his growing fear. So, firstly, Ray was full of fear, but as he was experienced, as he was aged person, so he was able to hide his fear. As he slowly pushed a notepad. Notepad means a pad of blank pages for writing notes or for writing something, and a pencil across the counter. He put a notepad and a pencil across the counter. He smiled at the unfriendly face, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. So Mr. Ray smiled at the unfriendly face or that of that customer and pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. Means he want to tell that customer that he is deaf. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. So he studied the notepad and wanted to tell something to his friend. So he turned. Ray used to chance to look closely at the man. Mr. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man because he turned, paying attention to the shape of a gun and a restless hand in the man's right pocket. He looked the gun in the pocket of that man. Anger boiled within him. He was full of anger at that time, but it was kept down by an inner voice that said, "Be still." But in his inner voice, he calmed himself. He wrote on the notepad because he was deaf. So he wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. And this was the first time when the customer looked the Mr. Ray. A cruel mocking smile. Cruel here means unkind, and mocking means means making fun of something or someone. He smiled, but his smile was very cruel and mocking. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door. Mr. Ray was able to understand that they were not his customers, they were actually robots. They looked like men who were down on their luck and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Mr. Ray thinks that they were very unfortunate people, and they were doing something that they will feel sorry after some time, that they were doing something wrong, something very bad. The clocks ticked on. As it was clock shop, so the clocks ticked on. Ray calmly wrote another message. Then he wrote another message. Have you come to pick up a clock or watch? Then he pointed the lawn board filled with hanging clock and pocket watches. Then he pointed to the wall. There were a lot of wall watches and pocket watches. He was not a pawnbroker. Pawnbroker means a person who lends money on interest. But Mr. Ray was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time couldn't say no to the needy people who placed their old watches or clocks before him for anything they could get. But he, Mr. Ray, was always ready to help someone, that if someone in need, so he lends money to the people without interest. They would be there when the owners wanted them back, and if they have the money, then they return his money and take out their things with them at the same price he had paid with no interest. Means he gave them money, he helped people, but he didn't take any interest. Then the older man seemed to feel a little easier, took out his hand from his pocket and quickly looked at the watch on his wrist. Then the older man seems to feel a little easier now. He thinks that there was a thoughts on his mind. So he take out his hand from his pocket and looked his wrist. How much will you give me for this? The man wrote. The man again wrote that how much you will give me for my watch. Ray noticed a little shame in the grey eyes looking at him. The watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. That watch was very cheap and yet had great powers. What was the great powers that watch had? Because this watch saved Mr. Ray from that robbers. It was something to exchange, a way out of a bad situation. So this watch came out Mr. Ray from a bad situation. Knowing that great need had brought the man to this shop in the first place, Ray asked, "How much do you need for it?" Ray asked a question to that person, that how much money you need for it. The reply came back on the notepad. Again, the man write on the notepad that whatever it's worth. Ray reached into his cash box, pulled out a $50 note and passed it into the man's hand. He pulled out a $50 notes and gave it to the person. As they shook hands, Ray looked into the man's eyes. They seemed to say thank you. Then, whenever they both shook hand while giving money, so Mr. Ray see into the look into his eyes, and his eyes seemed to say thank you. They both knew the watch wasn't worth that much. They both knows that the watch was very cheapy. It was not expensive. Before turning to leave, the man wrote. Before leaving the shop, the man again wrote on notepad. What was he wrote? I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas. Then he says that I will come back and pick up my watch and give your money back to you, and then he wish him Merry Christmas. The little story ended on the half hour with the clocks striking all together. So the little story ends within half hour with the clocks striking all together. striking means attracting attention, means all clocks starting tick tick tick. The timepieces, which had been looking on silently all the while, rang out the time with such feeling that even Ray thought he could hear them. Now all the timepieces starting tick tick tick, and Mr. Ray, who was deaf, who cannot hear, now he can feel the voice of these timepieces, these clocks. Their sweet and musical messages was filled with hope. Their tick-tick voice gave them message of hope. The timeless message of peace on earth, goodwill towards all, was felt by the three men who stood in the old clock shop. Now, what is the message? What was the message? Peace on earth, goodwill towards all, was felt by the three persons who stood in this old clock shop. So every story gave us moral. What is the moral of this story? So the moral of this story is that one should harbor goodwill towards everyone. We should help everyone, help them in need, and peace should prevail everywhere. We should help peoples and we should prevail everywhere peace. So this is all about today's topic. Hope you all have understood the chapter The Old Clock Shop very well. Thank you.